This video is going to show you how to fix a Hayward Aqua Rite salt chlorine generator. Um, this has happened once before, and I tried making a YouTube video, had a lot of hits on it, and I really didn't finish it. To make a long story short, there's a thing called a thermistor or a current limiter that burns up and becomes bad. And the symptoms are that you will have no power light, or the generating light goes off, or sometimes what will happen is the power light will be on, but it just won't generate, or the generator light goes on, then it goes off. It's a very common problem. I found it on YouTube, and somehow I was able to find the parts and fix it. I will attach a bunch of things, pictures and parts and links to where I found the part. Was I had like $5 or $10. It was very cheap, and you just need a soldering iron and a desoldering ball. If you have one of those, you'll see in the video I have these things. I'm not an engineer. I've just been a tinkerer most of my life. But anyhow, I'll put this video together, and hopefully it'll help you fix your chlorine generator. Instead of spending hundreds of dollars, you'll spend like $10. Okay, I have no power or generating lights. The LCD works. I've replaced the thermistor on here before. I'm going to try to replace it again and assume that's what it is. Unplug your cell thing right here, the plug down there. Turn off the power to the unit totally. Take these two screws out. Alright, next you got to unplug this little phone. It's like a phone plug right here. Unplug that thing. Again, please make sure your power's off. We have to disconnect these power cables right here. Okay, and then I'm going to take the board off by taking those two brackets, those two bolts out. Okay, I'm not going to video myself doing that, but you get the idea. And then take a picture with your phone of all of these wires. All those wires, take a picture where they plug in, because I'm going to have to unplug all those. Actually, I'll do that now. I'm putting the phone down, but you get the idea. Alright, so I took those off, the electrical connections, the 110 connection, and I put wire nuts on them and put electrical tape on both of them so to not create a short, because I'm going to turn the circuit back on so that my pump can run. That's all. Alright, so now I'm going to pull this thing out. I loosened those so you can see it's all loose. Alright. Alright, this thing right here is the thermistor. That funny looking, sort of like a funny looking capacitor. If you look real closely, right above the lettering, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it or not. I'll take some pictures of it and post the pictures, but there's a split in it. The last time this happened, the thing totally fell apart. I'm hoping this fixes it again. So I'm going to basically use my soldering iron to heat this thing up, use my desolder ball, which is, this thing's about 30 years old, to suck the solder out, and then put a new one back in. Alright, I got the thing out of there, and I used some sandpaper and steel wool to clean that up to make a good electrical connection. Okay, now I'm going to put a bead of solder on there in that little hole, and then I'm going to solder that thing in. Alright, as you can see, I have this one soldered in. You know, I'm not an electrical engineer. I'm going to clean that little thing of solder up right there, but it should be good. Okay, I slipped this circuit board back onto here, and those little pins come out the top where my fingers are. You got to make sure you get a good connection there, and that just sits on there like that. Now I'm going to go plug it back in, and we'll see if I fixed it. All right, so it hooks into these things. It's back in there. And I got to tighten those up and put the electrical connections and put all these things these plugs back on and turn the electric back on, and we'll see if we fixed it. All right, everything is plugged back in and tight down here. Those are all tight. And I've got to plug the flow sensor back in, and I'm going to go turn the power on. All right, as you can see, it's working. I just turned everything back on. That flow light will go off in a minute. And that's how you fix a Hayward piece of crap salt generator. See, it went out. Everything is working. That power light right there was not on before because that thermistor, that thing right there, went bad. Second time in like 5 years I've replaced it. And hopefully you can see that we have power and generating chlorine.